Welcome to the Frugal Fit Mom podcast. Today I have a budget breakdown for you. That's where one of you guys, real people that watch and or listen to the podcast, submit your personal budget. Don't worry, they are anonymous. But I'm going to sit here with my husband of 20 years and we're going to work together to come up with some solutions for this budget, this debt, and try and offer some suggestions to help this person meet their financial goals. If you have not subscribed to the channel or liked this video, if you are watching the video version on YouTube, go ahead and do that now. If you would like to watch the video, I do have all the numbers on a whiteboard if you like to follow along visually. If not, thank you for listening either way. Okay, Dave, come on in.
All right, let's do it.
Let me give you a quick sum up of the numbers before we dive into details for everybody that's listening.
For the record, I haven't looked at all.
Dave has not looked at these numbers. I wrote these on the board, so he doesn't know what we're doing.
No peeking.
This is a family of 4 plus one 20-pound dog.
Okay.
The two adults, the mom and dad, are 36 and 37. They have 2 children. One kid is 6, one kid is 1.
Oh, okay.
So young children.
And a few years apart.
Both of these parents work. Combined, their income is $77.80 a month-ish. I'm going to get back to the breakdown of this. I believe it's the mother makes $2,000 a month.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. So you're like, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a superb income. They live in Florida for reference.
We have a lot to work with.
Their total monthly bills that they gave me, and I think a few are missing, totals $5,220 a month. And you're like, okay, they have a couple thousand extra. However, there's a lot of debt items on this board.
Oh, 9 line items of debt.
9 line items of debt. The minimum payments on these 9 line items is $2,400. I'm rounding up and down a little bit because it's like a few dollars here, a few dollars there. But this is the basic number. Their income is, let's go with $7,800 a month.
Okay.
Their debt and bills combined is $76. Plus, they're missing some line items off of this budget. If this was accurate, they would only have $200 a month to hit their goals of pay off all the debt, save for college, fund an adoption, buy a Disney pass, and buy a house. So from the get-go, before I've said anything, this is a disaster. They make a lot of money, but they are spending every penny of that money.
They're living above their means.
Correct. Now, a lot of this is debt issues, which we can take care of. Some of it is budget issues.
Let me clarify. This debt is the minimum payments.
Yes, these are the minimum monthly payments. These 9 debt line items totals almost $200,000 in debt. That's not a house.
And no house to show for
That's
it.
no house.
We might be a little mean on this one.
It might come across
I hope not.
as brutal, but I think to fix this, we're going to have to be a little brutal in the budget. We're going to have to. Let's go down the monthly bills, see if there's anything there. Okay. Rent, $1,800. That's probably about right these days.
Yeah?
Utilities is $210. I have some questions here because she listed this as only electric. Like, where's the water? Where's sewer? Maybe that's included in the rent. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But whatever, there it is. Tithe and donations is $800 a month. As a religious person myself who does tithe, I know a lot of people would come for this one, but for religious people, generally Christians, we feel pretty strongly about this. So I tend to leave it there.
Sure.
Right? Let's drop down to food at $500. I don't think food is extravagant in this case. It's a family of 4 plus a dog.
No, I was actually thinking they're probably doing really well that way.
We could probably cut the food because the kids are 6 and 1. That 1-year-old's not eating that much.
We were there. Food was fairly cheap in Florida.
I've gotten a lot of pushback on that statement.
Really?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people be like, food in Florida is so expensive. I didn't find that to be the case. There's Aldi's everywhere. Aldi is very inexpensive as far as food goes. But, I don't know what part of Florida.
I don't know that you cut that much lower than $400. You're within $100, I think.
If you wanted to go extreme, I think you could cut it to $300, but I don't think it's the huge problem here.
We need to go extreme in other places.
Okay, household is $100. That's like diapers, dog food. I think that's fine.
Sure.
Car wash at $25 a month. That's most likely an unlimited car wash monthly subscription. And at $25, when I'm not touching the food budget, and I tend to leave that. Haircuts, $60 a month for the 2 boys.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine. Listen, I could hack this to death, but I'm listing them out for now. Life insurance, $108. Feels fine to me. Internet and 2 cell phones, $160. That actually doesn't feel too bad to me.
Maybe a little on the high end?
Maybe, but we're talking like $30 to $50 high. So laundry, this one's weird because this one specifically said it was a dryer. So
well,
like
in an apartment, so I'm wondering if this is
a laundromat, perhaps. Gas at $2.60. I suspect this is cars, although it wasn't specified. Netflix $21, fine. Car insurance $255. Daycare $900 a month. Can I go back to the mom is making $2,000?
So half of what she earns.
Half of her income is going to daycare.
Yeah.
Half. I'm just giving you numbers, guys.
Yeah.
Like, let's say she drives to work. Let's say she has to have clothes for work. I guarantee this grocery bill would be way lower if she did not work. She's working to only make $500 a month.
Yeah. 75% of her income is to sustain the fact that she's working.
Correct. So she's only making $500 a month in her job. I'm just giving you the numbers. Dave and I also experienced this when we were trying to get out of debt. Could I have gone back to work? Absolutely. Would it have made financial sense at that time? No, it did not. So I did the best I could while taking care of the kids and eliminating those bills.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about a few things that are missing. Where are clothing, gifts, car maintenance, any vacations, going out to eat, entertainment? Where is all of that?
It's not in here.
It's not in here. The kids have to have clothes.
And I think what's really funny is some people forget that because I don't even know if there's a why, but that happens every month.
Yes.
And so it becomes this leaky hole in the boat.
Now, I will say with kids this young, that doesn't happen every month.
Right.
You could go a couple of months, but at some point, you're buying your kids new shoes. At some point, your car needs an oil change. Like, at some point, that happens.
Right.
So
Christmas happens every year.
Christmas comes around. Like, you have to account for these things sometimes. They are in a rental, so they probably don't have a lot of home maintenance.
Right.
But that is something that pops up when you do own a home.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
How about we jump into the debt? Because I think this is going to make the biggest difference.
Okay, go right there.
Let's jump on over the debt. There are 2 items I think we could do something about. I just want to remind you that they have 2 children and they live in Florida.
Okay.
They own a Ford Explorer and a Jeep Compass.
Okay.
You have 2 SUVs.
Yes.
Why? The Explorer, they owe over $30,000 on that one car. Their monthly payment is $650. I say sell that car yesterday.
You know what's really funny? That car's probably not worth that much anymore.
No, probably not.
They're probably upside down on that car.
They most likely are upside down. Great news is they have about $9,000 in savings.
Okay.
I say sell that Explorer yesterday and get a little sedan. You're going to cut your total debt load by probably 25 grand. And if you need a loan to get a smaller car, you're going to cut your minimum payment by 500. At this stage of the game, that's enormous. You have to sell that Explorer. You don't need 2 SUVs with 2 kids in Florida. And the Jeep is going to be paid off anyway in like 3 months because they only owe $1,000.
Yes.
I understand people get attached to their cars, but guess what? It's only a car.
How much longer till they're paid off on this? $30,000 is what they have left?
At $650?
That's years. It might be a 5 or 6 or 7 year loan.
Oh my gosh, I'm dying. My heart just skipped 10 beats. I know people aren't going to like it, but listen, I don't like this budget.
You can't afford this car.
You cannot afford this car.
I'm sorry. Like that just, it hurts. But when you have this much debt, you can't afford to have cars of debt. Cars are just luxuries.
You make so much money, and spending every penny in this car is a huge problem. So I'm going to say,
And this will
$150.
also reduce your car insurance.
Yep. Yeah, maybe we switch it and we owe $5,000 on a sedan. Your monthly payment's now $150. So I just saved $500. I'm just going to write this. $500 on the board. I just saved you $500 a month. Yeah. Holy schmoly, okay? The Jeep Compass is going to be paid off in just a couple months anyway. So let's just add $260 to the budget as we've saved it because it's about to be paid off. In fact, I would take that out of your savings. Take $1,000 out of your savings today, pay it off, be done with it. $260 back in the budget, okay? We're doing some good things, and all we've done was tackle the cars. I do want to go back to this monthly budget because you cannot afford all this stuff.
This is the time where we tighten the bootstraps, and you have to recognize that you've been living a lifestyle you can't afford.
So I'm going to cut car insurance to maybe $175 because it will go down with a different car.
Yeah. So hang on, I want to back up and say, while you do your numbers, you can afford this lifestyle eventually. But right now, with the condition of all of the debt and everything else, you can't afford it today. You need to do all sorts of other things to get so far back under budget that you're paying off everything else and getting yourself back on top of the numbers. These things will come back. The luxuries will come back. You want them to come back before your kids get older.
Yeah, that's so true.
Man, I'm telling you right now, we went on a big hike with the kids yesterday, and they're all 11 and older, and we were able to take them out for ice cream and to do things with them that they remember.
Yes. They don't remember when they're 6.
Yeah.
They don't. I also want to point out their number one goal is to get rid of the debt. So
yeah,
know
that's our number one goal.
I know it sounds like I'm being super harsh and unreasonable, but I am trying to help you reach your number one goal. That is what I'm doing. So with that being said, let's cut some more crap.
Yeah.
I want to cut the haircuts.
You cut your boys at this age, you cut their hair. You go out and you get a $25 set of clippers.
I bet they're $30 right now from Walmart. You watch a few YouTube videos and you cut your own boy's hair. We did it for 15 years.
Yeah, we did.
$60 a month back in the budget. I do want to cut the food budget to $400. $100 a month because a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old are not eating that much. How much food are you throwing away? Like, how much food is in your freezers? And I know we had talked about like kids activities, gifts. I suspect if you did them, you're not doing them now.
Nope.
A 6-year-old and a 1-year-old, they don't need kids activities. Gifts at those ages can be extremely minimal. They don't have to be stuff. I have a big secret. I don't think most people know this. You do not have to buy your kids love. You don't.
It's so well said.
You do not. All your kids want is you.
Yeah.
Your time and your love, not the stuff you're buying them. So I'm gonna
You're pretty smart.
It's just been 20 years of parenting experience and my own failures where I thought they needed things and I was wrong.
Yeah, I think that's really important to point out. We're just trying to say that we made these mistakes ourselves, and these are lessons we've learned over 20 years. Sometimes harder lessons to learn. Sometimes these came naturally to us.
Yes.
Not very many came natural.
No. We're also going to cut vacation. We do need to add car maintenance. Let's go $100 a month into car maintenance. So I am adding $100 a month.
So we came out of food and it washed.
It came out of food and it washed. What else? As far as the budget here, can you see that can be cut? I don't see a whole lot more.
The car wash.
Yeah, car wash could be cut. I mean, it's only $25. It would be easier to cut.
But if it's a subscription, you try to get out from underneath all the subscriptions.
What about this laundry? Like, she said it was only the dryer. Like, can you not hang clothes up?
I don't know. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I'm a little unclear on this one. Oh, your gas is going to go down with a sedan, by the way.
Yes.
So let's cut that to $175 too.
So we pulled back an extra $80 there?
Yeah.
85
Okay, I have added $1,000
back monthly?
back monthly,
Okay.
and both of these cards are gone.
Okay, so my question is, so these are, let's just go high level for a second. 3 credit cards, some kind of a medical bill.
Yep.
What is SL?
There's 3 student loans.
Student loans.
2 of them are low, and one is $141,000.
For a job that's only paying $5,000
Like
a month.
55.
Holy crap.
So do you want to touch on college and student loans for a second?
I don't know. I don't even have ideas at this point.
I don't know what university this was. I don't know what degree this is. I don't know what field he works in.
Sure.
But we can say a few things from the stance of we are pro-education.
Yeah.
We are. Both of us have multiple degrees. My dad was the first and only member of his family to go to college. So I understand what it looks like when you come from like a blue collar, poor southern living, and then like having the college education, bumping your salary potential. I've seen it in my own family, just one generation up. So I think there are good things to be said about college. However, today I feel like there's so many options rather than go to college, take out student loans, get a degree in something that you're, quote, passionate about, but maybe doesn't have a high return financially. Kids can work. You can work during college. You can go to a cheaper school. You can get scholarships. You can do trade school. You can just get certifications. Like all these people that are software designers, a lot of the time they don't even care if you have a degree. They just want to know that you can do the job.
At our university, we're looking a lot into micro-credentials, which is like, hey, if you just pass these 2 classes, we'll give you a certificate. And that can be put onto all sorts of other things. And we're finding, especially in foreign countries, those are very employable certificates.
Yes, I'm a huge fan of community colleges.
So
Huge fan.
So we've covered all that.
Yeah, we've
What
said
do
it
we
all
do with
before.
an existing
Okay.
$140,000 student loan?
The first thing I'm going to say is if you have not consolidated the student loans into a lower interest rate, you need to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what these interest rates are, But this one student loan here is almost $1,000 a month minimum monthly payment, okay? You don't make enough to pay these off. They're so much. So if your interest rate is 10 and you can consolidate the 3 into 1 for 5, do that. Like, do it. I think that would be really beneficial. Let's just say this is what we have to work with. Then let's break it down into what I would do. I have $1,000 a month to hit these. What order, what are we doing? Credit card number 2
is the smallest.
is the smallest. This is month 1 and 2.
So we debt snowball.
I debt snowball, smallest to largest.
So we pick the smallest credit card first. We put all of our extra income at that, pay it off first.
Yep.
Then roll all that money into the next one.
Which is student loan 2.
Student loan 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like.
Is that I thought we were going to try to consolidate all these into one. And
maybe they can't.
Okay.
Maybe their interest rates are already
assuming
low.
that they can't, we pay off the next lowest debt. Then you go up here to credit card number 1.
Yep, credit card number 1. This is like month 4 through 7.
Yep.
And then credit card 3.
Yep.
And this is like 8 through 10 maybe.
And then student loan number 3.
I'd go medical.
Ooh, medical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've missed it, sorry.
Let's go, and then we're adding some monthly payments here, so I go months 10 through maybe 13. Okay, so let's just say, for the sake of argument, in 1 year, okay, we're doing this for 1 year. You've switched out the car, you've sold the stupid car, and you paid off the other car. We've cut some things out of the budget. In 1 year, if you do this, you have cut out all 3 credit cards, the medical bill, and one of the 3 student loans. So, okay, so that essentially gives you like $1,500 a month to play with. So student loan number 3 is another couple months. What, month 13 through 16? Okay. Yeah. In less than a year and a half, you have paid off and or gotten rid of every single debt line item except for this huge, massive student loan. You've learned how to live on less. And, oh, did I mention, bonus news, he's about to start working nights at $700 a month additional in a few months.
He's saying that, or you're telling him he has to?
No, they said that he was planning on it in the next 4 months. 4 months from right now, he's starting working some night shifts at an extra $700 a month.
He needs to.
He needs to.
Not for a long period of time, but it's probably going to be for a couple years.
Yeah, to pay off the student loan.
But here's the point, is in 18 months from now, you're down to 1 loan. You've wrapped all this extra money back, and so in 18 months, they're putting down now how much a month on that loan?
Probably $2,000 minimum, $2,500.
I bet you they could be putting close to $3,000 a month on that one. With that raise that he's getting and everything else, now they're paying off $3,000 a month and not making a minimum $1,000 a month payment.
Correct.
So I know that's still going to take a long time.
It's a huge student loan, yes.
Because even if you're paying off $1,000 a month, that's still 140 months.
I want to discuss something I haven't said yet.
That makes me a little sick when I say that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I want to say something. I wrote up on the top of this board 2 credit cards at $0 balance. Why are they open?
Oh, you're saying they have 2 more open balances?
No, there's a 0 balance.
Right, 2 more open credit cards.
2 more open credit cards. For the love of all that is holy, as soon as you pay these off, close these credit cards. Like these 2 that have 0, cancel them today. Call and say, I would like to cancel this card. Please send me a written letter confirming the cancellation. Keep it forever. I sometimes get pushback on this, or a lot of the time. If you close a credit card, it dings your credit score. Let me be clear, these people do not have a good credit score.
Yeah. We're worried about rebuilding credit in the long run, not with their short term.
I am a fan of playing the credit score game, which means pick one credit card that is the longest holding credit card you own. Keep it, put your Netflix charge on it, and that is all. Pay it off every month. The $20 Netflix charge goes on there. Pay it off every month. That's the only thing you do. Everything else gets canceled. Everything. Clearly, we have a credit card issue. So cancel everything. Yeah, it does take a little ding on your credit score. It does. But not for long. And you're going to be working at this for 2 years anyway.
I was just going to point out, if they could put on $2,000, if they could be paying $2,000 a month off the principal on this $140,000, we can get it down to what, 70 months?
Yes.
Was that 6 years?
That is 6 years.
So even if you're making like basically 3 times the amount, you're paying off 3 times the amount that they're asking you to, it's still going to take you 6 to 7 years to pay this off. Listen,
Can you list some jobs where people make $20,000 a month? Dentist.
Lawyer.
Orthodontist. Even lawyers pushing it.
Some lawyers don't go there. You're right. Nurse, anesthetist.
Yes. Not a regular nurse, a nurse, oh my gosh, nurse anesthesiologist.
Yeah, an anesthesiologist.
Most business dudes in finance, high risk jobs, business owners
Yeah.
will make this much money.
Entrepreneur?
Yep, entrepreneur will. I'd say coding people, anyone in the tech industry.
Anyway, it's just, for a job that pays $5,000 a month, this is 10 times higher than it needs to be. 10 times. I really feel for these people. They've been duped a little bit into thinking that they needed that much student loans. It just makes me frustrated with the state of education that we're willing to give somebody this much money for a student loan on a job that pays $5,000 a month.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. I think people have been duped into thinking it's okay to spend this much money all in the sake of a degree.
Yeah.
Any degree, which is kind of nuts. I want to talk about a couple of their other goals here before we close out today. We only talked about goal number 1, which is to pay off debt, because it's going to take over 2 years to accomplish it with this massive student loan.
Yeah.
The next one is college. I applaud you for wanting to take care of your kids. You are not in a position to do that until this is cleaned up. So take it off your list for now. Number 3, adoption.
Oh.
I don't know if this includes the current kid or if this is a new adoption. If it's a new one, I'm in the camp of it's never the right time to have a kid. And if you feel pushed into growing your family, I'm not going to tell you no. But we need to work that into the budget. Maybe you do need to cut that grocery budget like crazy sauce to save up for that adoption. The 4th one is the Disney pass. You need to shelf that.
Yeah.
There's no need. With a 6-year-old, I'm assuming this is for the older kid, for a 6-year-old, kid's not even going to remember.
I'm going to say give yourself 2 to 4 years. 2 to 4 years, that time is going to feel a lot better.
Yes. Let's shelf that for now.
Yeah.
You can always do it later. My kids had the best time at theme parks when they're like 14. When they're 6, they don't remember anything.
I want to go back to adoption for a second.
Go back to adoption.
The better you get at being disciplined here and getting your finances in order, the easier the adoption is going to be.
Amen.
So even if you get that discipline in a month or 2 and the finances aren't there yet, I totally support. Sometimes adoption is just right at the right time for certain various things.
Right.
It may not be financially. What I'm saying is you got to get yourself financially responsible and disciplined, and that actually makes you a better parent. So see if you can get at least your discipline fixed before you get the adoption in place.
Okay, the last goal is to buy a house in Florida. I'm pro home ownership as well. However, I want your house to be a blessing to you and not a stressor. And right now, this will do nothing but cause you stress. Like, there's a lot of freedom in renting. You can move. You can go somewhere else. Get a different job in a different state and do something else.
Actually, they're in a great position. Interest rates suck right now.
They really do suck.
They're just too high to buy a house. And the prices are still too high. So you do this for 2 to 4 years, and then interest rates start to fall down, and maybe we've got extra money. Maybe we get completely debt-free, and then we can have, $20,000, $30,000 saved up for a nice down payment, and we go for it.
Yes, I think it's in your interest to wait until interest rates drop. They will. They always will. They may go up a little bit first, but then they'll go down. They haven't been this high since the 90s.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy, right?
My parents tell me about one house they bought that was over 13% interest.
That was in the 80s.
In the 80s.
But that house was $80,000. So that's not quite the same. Yeah, I think it's going to be in your best interest to wait on that one so your house can be a blessing to you.
Agreed.
I just don't want it to cause you stress. That's no way to live. I've had friends that were house poor, and it is not fun even a little bit.
Once again, fix the financial discipline first.
Yeah, you can do it. In 2 years, this looks very different. Very, very different. So hang in there.
Yeah.
Thanks for submitting this. If you would also like to submit your budget for a podcast breakdown, I think you can do that on my website, virgofitmom.com. Just hit the contact button.
Thanks for watching and listening.
Yeah, thank you for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you next time.